But yeah, I seen a video on YouTube talking about why you shouldn't use Chrome. And it seems like I was like, like, you see these things all the time with apps that they say that they do this and they do that, right?
Every app that you download always says,
Can I track you?
Yeah, I want to track the fuck out of you. Do you allow me?
Yeah.
Or it says yes, allow, or please ask not to do what you're gonna do anyways.
Yeah.
What?
But that's Apple being, I think, helping the consumer, because before they can just do it. But now Apple made it know that they have to ask.
But they still do it even if you say no. It says please not do. But it doesn't say like deny. It's not like a clear.
Yes, it does. It says do not track me. Do not track.
No, it says ask. It says ask not to track. It doesn't say like definitely not gonna track your ass. It just ask. That means you can be turned down then.
But things like apps like TikTok too are really bad. But the reason why they were saying that Chrome is bad, because I'm like, they share your data. They're basically like data collectors. So, and I was like, okay, so what are they tracking? Was it just like, how you browse the web, or like what type of things you view or whatever? That's why I was like, it's not a big deal, right? But then I learned that they also like can see what you have on your computer.
As far as like what do you have on other apps or what?
No, like file for file. Like every file they know what you have.
Now, and then they can access it, or they just,
I don't know if they
just like it's like they'll know that you have Firefox.
I don't think they use it, but they have access to it. Like they have access,
just like file names.
I think, to see what the fuck you have on your computer.
Oh, okay.
And what are you using? What are you downloading? What programs you have? Shit like that. And that's why it's like, I was like, like, damn, like it goes that far to where it's checking what you have on your hard drives.
And what's these
motherfuckers going to try to steal my mixtapes? Like, no, fuck that.
They don't explain to you, to the average person, on why they need this type of stuff. They never say shit about that, huh?
No. So that's why people were like,
what the hell are they using it for?
Oh, they're using it for, well, the one thing for sure is they're using it to promote ads to you. So like the way, if I guess, I don't know if they can use information that's on your computer. Like if you have a bunch of video editing apps or a bunch of video related stuff, they're like, oh, let's promote video editing shit towards this person, or anything that we feel from his computer that he has, that we assume he likes based on what he has, let's promote that to him. As far as through ads and shit. But for sure they're using it for ads. And I don't know if they're selling your data.
They probably are.
To other companies. And it kind of makes sense, right? Because if you're making a desktop app, you would want to know how people are using it. Like if you're making, I don't know, say another browser, and Google has thousands of how people use the browsers, so you can analyze and see what people are doing. Like that's valuable, right?
Because I guess
for a company is valuable.
I guess to make it better, if you're looking to improve and see what they're doing, and then do shortcuts or make shit more simpler for the average consumer, I guess that would be the way to do, like a informative way for them to do it. But they're doing more than that, though. They're looking at your nudes. They're looking at everything.
Oh shit! Oh wow! I don't have none, so keep looking. So, but that's why I was like, oh yeah, like people are like, there's plenty of other options to use and to not use Chrome. There's plenty of other ones, and
I don't know any of them.
And you would think though, because Chrome is the most popular one.
Does Chrome come with every Microsoft?
No. We install that boy.
Oh,
the Microsoft comes with Microsoft Edge, but Microsoft Edge is the same shit. They track and collect a bunch of fucking data too. So the only way, because I was like, okay, so then how do you know what you can trust? Because what's the difference between these other browsers? And the way to know is if it's open source. Meaning that people can see exactly how. Like, I don't understand that shit. If it's open source or not. Like, I can't go into the code and know what the fuck they're doing, but there's people on the internet who do. So basically, open source means you want to take a look at how this shit runs. like what exactly it's collecting, what it's doing, every little thing you want to see. Open source means you have access to it.
It's like code shit where
Yeah.
you can read how it works,
Yeah.
what it does. And
Basically, yeah. So you have access to it. Now, when you have access to it, you can check. And that's why people who know how to read this shit, they'll tell you, oh, this shit good. And it stays open source. So if there's an update, you can check it again. And things like Google and Microsoft, they don't allow you to do that. So you don't know what the fuck they're collecting. And
what are the popular ones? What are the good ones?
well, there was other ones that like that people recommended. Like I see a lot of people recommending Brave. And for some reason, every time I tried using a different browser, I just couldn't, like, I was so used to Chrome that it was so hard.
Is the layout the same? Is it different or what?
It's pretty similar. Like you can make it work just like Chrome. And then that's why for the past probably like 4 or 5 days I've been using Brave. And yeah, I'm just gonna use that now.
It's a lot. Is it a pain?
It's actually a little bit better. Like
what? I don't understand what. Like I understand. Obviously, there's gonna be differences, but like, what are one of the biggest differences as far as like either hassle or a convenience for Brave?
well, one thing automatically is that it blocks ads by itself. Automatically.
From everything,
From
YouTube?
everything, anywhere you go, it blocks ads.
YouTube too, también.
I think so, but it blocks from the gate. It just blocks everything. So when you visit a website, you don't get the ads.
You know how some websites, if you have ad blocker, they don't allow you to enter.
Yeah.
What happens there?
I think that still applies.
So you just won't. You can't watch those.
And you just turn it off. There's a switch there, and it says if the site doesn't function, turn it off. And you use literally one click, and then you're back to normal.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot of like stuff that it does. Like it uses basically the minimum to make it work. Like and every time something asks you, it'll tell you this thing's asking this, and then it has like your homepage will tell you how much shit is stopped and how much things it is doing. And then because it works similar to Chrome, you can literally transfer everything. This shit is probably boring as fuck, but you can literally transfer everything from Chrome to Brave like in a click.
As far as your tabs, your saved, your bookmarks?
Yeah, like your bookmarks, everything. So it's all there.
And then what do you do with Chrome?
You're supposed to uninstall it.
Oh.
Because it monitors and even uses shit in the background. So like
so if you uninstall it, you're good forever?
Yeah. Because when you're using Chrome, it's using more than it needs. It says too. So when you're playing games and shit and you have Chrome in the background, it's taken away from your FPS.
And it's recording your gameplay?
No, I don't think it's going that far. But when you see it, like a lot of these China is the worst, I think. And China is TikTok. And China is a lot of these apps that are like now being promoted on TikTok. You see there's a lot of people who are promoting a new app called Temu.
Oh yeah.
They're promoting that. And that's basically like steal all your fucking everything.
Isn't that like isn't that freaking...
It's like a shopping store.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Because a lot of people buy shit here.
So it's like Wish, huh?
Yeah, kind of like that. And it just takes all your information and shit.
Credit card, everything?
No. It's not like that. It's just like you're basically giving it access to like what phone you're using, your IP address. You like, and you're probably even your address and shit like that. Your address, all your shit. That's why they collect so many information from you.
They'll send you shit, so then you'll get shit in the mail. Huh.
And when you have things like NordVPN, and yeah, I'll probably block that out because no free credit around here. But these fools, they like if you're subscribed to them, they actively search for your information online, and they'll take it down. Especially in the dark web. They'll visit the dark web and see if there's any information linked to you, and they'll delete it. And that's tight. But you know what I seen? I seen that on the dark web. Like, because there's these other people who'd be like, I'll visit the dark web and show you what's there. Like, what can you do? And It's interesting. Like, of course, like when you think dark web,
You
every
think
time
illegal
somebody
shit, huh?
says, yeah,
You
well, that's
think
for sure.
You think about drugs,
no, you
hookers,
think, you know what I think about? I think of like murder. Like there's crazy shit going on.
gore.
Yeah, because like I seen a video, like I said, people said down the dark web, there's animal abuse where they burn them alive and shit on videos. I'm like, so every time I think of dark web, I think of like madness and fucking evil.
Is it illegal?
I'm not too sure, but I don't think it is. I don't think the dark web itself is illegal, but a lot of the shit on there is illegal. So if you partake in that, then it's illegal. But one thing I seen is that they sell you PayPal accounts. Right? So like, and I don't know, like there's some risks that come with it, but basically, right, hackers will hack people's PayPal accounts and say they hacked their PayPal account and it has $1,000. It's theirs now because they hacked it, right? They took it from you. And then they'll sell your PayPal account for 300 or 200 to a random person.
Why wouldn't they just keep the 1,000 though?
I think I don't know, but I think it's because there's risks involved with it, and maybe it's more simpler for them to hack it and then just sell it, and then like I don't know how it works, but I know that you can get like you could pay $100 or $200 and get like 1,500. And I was like, what the heck? But
Yeah,
but according to PayPal, like in order to access that money, you have to do some like what do they call that?
authentication.
Some type of shit like that. But like I was like, what the heck? But there's a lot of ways to make easy money on the dark web, but it's highly illegal. Like you're stealing. Like that's fucking you're getting some real shit for that.
But then I mean, I don't think that'd be smart because you would have to at least, well, maybe if you start a new PayPal. But even if but like, it seems like PayPal would track that shit. Even if you make 3 different fake PayPals, right? And with their own.
No, probably the thing would be like to use it. Don't transfer it. Use it from that one.
Oh, okay.
But
then where do you ship it to?
You could just buy shit.
And ship it to where? You'd have to ship it to some random fucking address.
You can just buy crypto with it.
Yeah, but then you're linking it to an account.
Yeah, but once you sell that account, like isn't crypto encrypted?
No, because you got a wallet.
But like it's not encrypted to like
no.
I think there's a way. I know there's a way. I don't know because I'm not on that shit.
Mm.
You know, I'm not doing that type of shit. But there's a way. There's a way to do it so people don't fucking find out. But like and the thought of that is like it's crazy, right? Because a lot of people are using that to make money.
They're probably selling all kinds of shit on there too, though. But I wonder, what did it look like? Does it look like the normal web?
I think so. I don't know. I never really like been on it,
and
I never had an interest in it because like everything.
Seems evil, huh?
Well, not just that. It's just like what can't you not do on Google? What do you want to do? That's like that's what makes the dark web more like. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, because if you look on the regular internet, you can find anything.
You can find fucking people killing people. The videos on Google, right? Like I said, like even on Facebook, like it would just happen. So now, I don't know why would you want to see that.
Yeah, I think the dark web is meant for not the average person.
I think really what it is, if I'm just guessing, I think it's just completely unfiltered. That's why it's like because there's no restrictions. So people who want to do weird shit can do it.
I heard a story one time of a guy that said he ordered cocaine on the dark web, and he said he paid like $50, and because he's like, I'm probably gonna get scammed, but he's like, fuck it. And he said like 3 months went by, and he forgot about it. He's like, yeah, he had already thought in his head he already got scammed, $50, and then he said 3 months later the shit showed up, and he said this shit was he's like, it took some time, but it was legit. He said a dude came, dropped the package off like anything else. He said, but it looked like an average dude.
No attire.
No, yeah. He not no company. He put the package there. The guy signed. He signed for it. The
And he
dude
took
left.
off.
The dude left, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" He opened it. It's freaking cocaine. And he's like, "Damn!" He's like, he said it was like a unexpected plus for his day, because he in his head he didn't know. He thought he already got scammed, and then he said 3 months later, he just some cocaine showed up at his door. He said,
Yeah, but to
great
trust
day.
that shit,
He snorted that shit. I'm sure.
I couldn't trust that shit. Where it come from? Like, you don't know what the fuck they did. That's how a lot of people be dying, because a lot of their shit's laced with a bunch of other shit.
People who fly in, they be eating that shit in bags, right, or some shit like that.
And then they shit it out.
They shit it out or they puke it.
I think they shit it out, you know.
No.
But I think there's certain security measures for that now. I don't know though. But that's too far. What the fuck?
I know.
But it's because people want that money, and a lot of times it's just users. But do you think in America you should be able to use cocaine with no problems? Okay, like what I mean is it shouldn't be illegal.
Like make it
for personal use.
Make it legal, and then you're talking about third party fucking test it to make sure shit is freaking pure than a bitch, and then sell it on the market like they do with marijuana type shit.
I mean, that would be the perfect way, right, to assume that things are safe. But it just seems like, should you be able to tell somebody in America what they can and can't not indulge in?
It seems like you would want to say let them do whatever the fuck they want, but you would have to know 100% what it does to the person, right? I mean, even if it was harmful, it's still within your right to, if you want to harm yourself,
to do it, right?
But then I don't know, because if you start feeding for it,
because then they say the government's trying to protect you. But it's like they don't give a fuck, because right.
And then if you think about it too, though, like anything, if cocaine, or whatever freaking drug they want to do, if they're feeding for it, I guess anything can be a drug for real, huh? Like if
Tylenol
alcohol,
could be a drug. Like, you seen people were fucking taking that shit, like we're just chugging NyQuil, and they make you ID. I don't know if they stopped that, but I remember
they still do that.
I remember they make you ID now, and I'm like, because people are just drinking that shit. Sometimes they even like, they don't. If you're a kid, they don't really like selling you Red Bulls. Certain people, because I've had that said. People tell me that who's this for? I'm like, but when I was a kid, and I was like, my dad. And you're like, it better be for your dad, because you're not supposed to be drinking this.
There's no age restriction on those bitches.
I don't know if there is.
No.
But back to the question, right? Because it seems like if the police catch somebody in their house doing cocaine, and they have an amount, because I don't know what amount nowadays is considered personal use, but they say they're below that line to where it's personal use. The government punishes you by saying, "Oh, you got drugs, I'm taking you to jail. Taking the drugs away, and you're going to jail." And how is that the government protecting you?
I don't know. It seems like that's hurting you even more.
Even more.
Yeah.
That's why I question if
I think the policies are bad, so they probably need to fix that. Maybe it should be like, fuck it, use whatever you want. But I'm not sure if that is the best decision. But I feel like freedom to be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do. As far as if shit only hurts you, just like alcohol, right? You want to drink, you want to get fucked up, that shit's only hurting you, right? If they want to do it, you should. They just like it is allowed, you should do it. Cocaine, heroin.
But you think say if the government tomorrow said, okay, everything's legal now, you can buy it through the store, do you think the rise of deaths will go up as far as from drug use? Because now that it's okay, do you think people would be like, oh, I'm not going to get in trouble no more, let's go do some coke?
Well, I don't know. Can coke kill you?
Yeah.
Like, how much you got to do in order for it to kill you?
I don't know, but it definitely can kill you.
Well, is it because it's laced or it'll kill you?
No,
like pure?
just pure cocaine will kill
Pure?
you. It's a fucking strong drug. Shit ramps your heart up and shit.
They don't got the money for it anyways. Shit would be expensive. And people who got the money, unless you got the money, I guess.
But even if they're getting it from a third party, it's illegal. It's legal now.
I know, but you need to have them enough money. Like, how much coke do you need to die? I'm sure it's a good amount.
No, it's not.
Look it up.
You can die probably from like a fucking, I don't know.
It seems like you can't snort that much. I mean, someone can snort that much.
Yes, you can.
But like, like the people who are fiending for it, they just want a little bit to get them through the day. People who have so much of it, they're not just snorting that shit nonstop. They're not freaking Tony Montana, that motherfucker.
I think too, it depends on your weight too.
See, it says laced.
See, it just says it varies from person to person because it says some people could take milligrams and then some people could take grams and be cool. So it's kind of, I don't know, but for sure you can.
I think the majority of deaths are from shit that's laced. I think pure as fuck cocaine. I think you gotta snort the fuck.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so because your heart, you gotta, it would have to fuck your heart up. That's how you would die. From it fucking making your heart.
I don't think you need a fuck ton.
Well, I feel like you need a good amount. If that shit's straight pure, that's why I'm curious now. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna test it.
But like that's why, because it seems like. But do you think that the government should play a role into like babysitting? To say like,
it's crazy when the government takes roles on like parent, like the government's the parent.
Yeah, right? This is bad for you.
They take the role of a parent, and then only when it's beneficial for them, and then when it's like shit that is like more of a pain, it's like you figure it out. Like freaking when like that Maui shit, right? They were just like, figure it out, motherfuckers. We're focusing on Ukraine right now. But taking people to jail, I don't think is a solution for drug use. I don't think so.
Do you think they should take the drugs away?
I think you should just let them fucking be wild, huh?
I don't know.
Just let them do them. But I don't know if that elevates crime.
I think they should take you in. But not for a long time. Just until you sober up, then let you out. Because you're under the influence, we caught you. You're more likely to do some. Maybe in your own home, no. But if you're in public. Because like if you're in public under the influence of anything, you're at more of a danger. Right? Like if they catch you, but then again, it's questionable because they would say like, because can you be, you could be drunk in public, can't you? As long as you're not like
fucking shit up.
It's obvious.
As long as you're not being a disturbance, I think it's fine. But it's illegal to drink in public, right? If you're not in private property.
I think if you I think if you're under the influence of a substance and you have that substance on you, you go in jail. Until they remove your substance from you, you go to jail if you're under the influence just till the next day.
Just to sober up?
Yeah, sober up. You stay overnight. Just like the drunk motherfuckers that they leave in there. Overnight.
Yeah, but only if they're acting up?
No, if you have substance on you.
Okay, but
it doesn't matter. That's why if you're caught on public and you got cocaine or whatever, meth, they're gonna take away your shit.
Even if you're not under it?
They're gonna throw it away. And then they're going to take you to jail overnight.
What if you just have it on your person or in your car, but you're not under it?
How would they check that? But let's assume they do.
Let's say they assume
so
that they do.
If you're not under the influence, they should just take your shit.
Is it easy to tell when someone's on something?
Well, I think like the police have certain things as far as like rapid eye movement or certain things that are telltale signs of you're under the influence of something. You're slurring your words. You're speaking too fast.
Oh, and then if you
Certain
have
shit.
it on you, and they test it, because they
Yeah,
can test
if
it.
they
Huh?
suspect it.
They can have those little
But then
fucking
you
things
give
that
people, but then you give people control. Because what if the cop is like, you have it on you, but you're not under the influence? But if the cop has the authority to say, no, I believe you're under the influence, and without proving it, and he's like, you're just going to spend the night in jail because fuck you. I don't like the way you talk to me.
Yeah, I don't think there's an easy solution. I think you just let them do them.
Because salvia is legal. And that's a drug that looks kind of like weed. And that shit takes you to another dimension. And they sell that shit at the store.
You smoke it,
Yeah.
and what's the purpose of it?
Takes you to another dimension.
No, yeah, but that's not the purpose for it.
What do you mean by purpose?
Like Tylenol, the purpose is for when you're sick, you take it to get better. But people are getting fucked up on it because they're just chugging.
Oh, well,
it.
I don't know if there's an original purpose for that. And if there is, I don't know what that is. I just know that shit, if when you smoke it, it should take you somewhere else. And you're gone for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And people will talk about like, I seen videos of people who are going crazy off the shit. Because they're in another dimension and shit.
And they're just paranoid.
It's kind of like on some DMT shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is then.
And it just doesn't make sense, right? Because at one point, alcohol was illegal. Then they made it legal, right?
Well, they made it was legal, and then they made it illegal.
People rioted and said, we want our beer. Then they eventually gave it back.
People started selling it, doing it in the backyard.
Yeah.
Making it, selling it. And that moonshine came about. And it was illegal. That's some mob shit. People would run it just like drug shit.
I seen a video when people, when they made a law that said you can't drink and drive. When that happened, people were saying that this is un-American. They were saying this is un-American because we deserve, after a long day of work driving home, to have 1 or 2 beers while we're driving. We deserve it. It's un-American.
But if for the average, not for the average, let's go for, let's do average. Let's say for the average person who enjoys beer, right? What would you say? How many a week do you think? I mean, how many days a week for an average guy that enjoys beer? Probably like 4 times a week he would drink one. If you would just give it on average,
maybe 3, 4.
Okay, so then for those guys, 1 or 2 beers, what's that really gonna, like, on the way home? What's that gonna do for them?
But that don't matter though, because I think when people's lives are at risk, you can't risk it. Not even for a little bit. Wait till you get home, fucking drug fucker. You know, it's not worth it.
But what would that do? What would that do?
It wouldn't do shit. But that's why there's a limit, though. You technically can. Well, no, you can't. Technically, you can't have an open container in the car.
Yeah.
But you can drink a beer right now and go drive. Because if they pull you over and suspect you're being drunk, they'll breathalyze your ass and you'll be under.
Well,
there will be like, you have alcohol in your system, but you're under the limit. So because you're under the limit, you're free to go.
I guess it would depend on who is drinking that beer. For the average guy,
I don't know how that works.
It might not do shit.
I don't know how that works though.
But if 2 beers for you is way different than 2 beers for me.
Yeah, but I don't know if that changes the status of the breathalyzer.
Has to.
How?
I don't know. But
it's just a rook.
But let's say if I can't walk straight, wouldn't it? I'm under. Am I good to drive?
I'm pretty sure if they see you, they would believe you're under the influence of something else. So they would be like, you can't drive because you're clearly, but under the alcohol limit, you're good. But the way you're behaving, you're not safe to drive. So you're not driving.
But do I get a DUI?
No.
I'm under the limit.
I think,
but I'm fucked up.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I'd be like, drug test me.
I think they would. And if they found that you were just under the influence of alcohol, yet somehow under the limit, I don't think you didn't break no laws.
Yeah, I didn't break no laws. So but I was fucked up though.
I don't know. So I don't know what they would do there.
That's why I think that if you're fucked up, you would think the alcohol level in your blood is a lot higher. Even though you drank the same amount of alcohol, you would think just because the motherfucker are lightweight, so he just gets fucked up easy.
Yeah, so I don't know how that would work. But
that's why that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, one beer, 2 beers for the average guy ain't shit because the motherfuckers drink all the time.
yeah,
But my 2 beers, I wouldn't drive after 2 beers. 1 beer, I wouldn't drive after any
I don't
beers.
drive either.
But I'm saying like
Don't drink
if
it
I
dry.
was like there was no other choice, it was like life or death. I had to drive. I would still drive, but like I don't know.
Nah, I wouldn't drive.
No,
I mean,
I'm not saying life or
death.
death. That's but I wouldn't be confident that I'm gonna make it where the fuck I'm gonna make it. My ass would get lost. My ass would be driving in circles and shit.
But like going back to the drug thing, right? The reason why I say that is because if the government is babysitting, they're not doing a good job. Because they say some drugs are worse than others. Like weed was illegal forever, and just now in some states it's still legal. So it was illegal forever, and it's the only drug that doesn't kill nobody. Alcohol, you can die. Like you drink a whole 2 bottles of Fifth, the average person, I don't know, but you'll die. If you drink too much, you die. Like in order to die from weed, you had to it's impossible. You'll go to sleep before then. I don't know if this is 100% true, but from what I've heard, you'd have to smoke your body weight.
In a city?
Yeah. So you think about it. If that's true, 150 pounds, 160 pounds, you'll never smoke that. You'll never smoke that to die. So how come when it comes to certain things, it's illegal, yet certain other things are legal? So if they're babysitting, you would think that would be like, we would do that based on how dangerous the drug is.
I think it's not. It's open-mindedness. I think the people who are older have the old way mentality of gateway drug. This leads to that, and
devil's lettuce.
So devil's lettuce.
That's what they call it.
So I think they have that old way of thinking, and because they're closed-minded to the idea of it being any way, shape, or form positive for anyone, they just shut it down completely. But now I think the more studies are coming out, and everyone's fucking smoking now, and that's why I think and then they probably seen the money. Now that they could tax that shit, they probably seen the income, and they're like, it's not that bad.
No, and they made a fuck ton of money. Everybody's making money,
and that's crazy that they were putting people in jail for that
shit,
and now they're making money.
Yep. Now it's okay. Now it's straight.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
Oh, you went to jail for 30 years? Sorry.
I don't know if Biden said he was trying to get some of them off. I don't know. But I think I heard something like that.
Is it still illegal to have so much, or you can have unlimited?
Now you can have a certain good amount on you.
But
like Rome,
but I'm saying can you have is there a number where they're like, okay, you can't have more than 20 pounds?
I think it's over like a pound. I think it's over
anything over a pound you can't have.
Yeah, and you could think if you grow, you only have I think you can have 3 plants.
They're trying to limit the shit they can tax, huh?
Yeah, so if you're growing, you can grow, but you can only grow a certain amount of plants.
Yeah, because and then I didn't realize how much you can actually get from so many from a little room of plants, you can get a shit ton.
You can get a shit ton,
and I didn't know that. I thought it was it was a hard thing to do, but some of the people that I know that were used to do it, it's like a job. And they would show me their little lab or whatever they call it, where they have the light set up and their growing station and the shit that missed the water and all that shit. And then they have food for it and in big fucking 5-gallon buckets worth of different shit for different stuff. And they talk about mating and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's probably, when I think about it though, it's probably still illegal to sell, right? Like if you're my friend,
no, I don't.
Is it illegal to sell it to you? Because you would think you would need some type of license or something. People always got licenses for everything.
Yeah.
So
it's just because I think the government wants to track shit and they want to be able to tax shit. So that's where all that shit comes in. And also sometimes licenses are for to keep people from doing shit illegally, whenever fishing. So you got to have your fishing license. They can keep track of how many people have their fishing licenses, right? and how many people on average renew it every year, will probably give them a good estimate of how many people are actually fishing for, like, so they can understand like population type shit probably.
But it's fucking, that's collecting data, just like Google.
I don't.
Why the fuck do you gotta know everything? Paper,
I think it all comes down to money.
everything,
Everything comes
even
down to money.
drones. You know, you have to license them bitches if they're past a certain weight.
And you license it with who? With the state?
It's online.
But who controls that?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I licensed mine,
Hmm.
and it's like $5, and then you get a personal code on your shit, and then you can print this thing kind of like that you can put in your wallet. So if you ever question about like if you're legitimately like registered all that bullshit, then you can show them. But they trying to fucking tax everything.
And if they can take your drone or they give you a
Yeah,
ticket
if you have an overweight drone and you don't have a license, they could take it away.
and fine your ass.
I don't know, maybe I'm not too sure, but I know they could take it away from you.
It's just money. I think everything is money. You think these motherfuckers got enough of that shit, but they're spending it so fast and
Yeah.
need to continue to
They gotta
recover.
collect from everywhere.
Yeah. Motherfuckers.
What they should do is allow immigrants to get their citizenship by paying.
How much?
I think there should be some type of forgiveness law.
It
shouldn't be like if you're fresh. If you're a fresh immigrant, no, they don't work for you. This works for people who've been in the States, who got kids here, who got like 20 years on them, 10 years, 15 years, who have their whole family here, who have a job, all this shit, who have no criminal record. It should be a forgiveness thing for them. And even if you make them pay, and it's like, and I'm not saying this to be like, these are my people, but I'm just saying like, when you have given us no option, when you're giving people who don't have citizenship or residency or anything, you're giving them no option. I would be happy even if you did that for them, because a lot of people are living in the U.S. in fear, because if they get pulled over, it's over. So for those people, it seems like there's nothing for them. Yeah, DACA is protecting the newer guys, what people are calling like anchor babies and shit, like this crazy shit they be calling them. I don't know where they get these names, but like the fathers, the mothers and shit that's been here forever, it should be something for them. And I think it's beneficial for everybody, because for America, you're not getting this out, period. It's impossible. Even if you knew where everybody lived, how long it would take, we would multiply by that.
And not only that, but even if they decided to, let's say, I'm not sure how many illegal immigrants are living in the U.S., but let's say 5 million. Let's say it was 5 million people. Okay, let's say even if these motherfuckers said, yeah, we're starting a campaign, fucking every immigrant, we're getting them the fuck out. Okay, you deport 5 million motherfuckers. Okay, half those motherfuckers are back within a week.
And then you're losing money though.
I know.
You're losing money because you're transporting them. You're spending all this money to get them out of here. Instead of doing that, gain money by paying. Hey, okay, if they fit all this criteria, all this shit that we say, no criminal record, all this shit, got family here. Like, especially if you have sons, U.S. citizen or whatever, and they're already like 10, and you haven't been to Mexico and whatever, right? Even if it was something as hefty as like 40,000, and you don't even have per.
Damn.
And you don't even have residency.
What do they give you?
It's some type of like, just okay. Some fucking ID that says you're good. You can work.
And you could travel within the U.S.?
You can travel with the U.S. You can't leave and come back. You want that? 40,000 more. No, just playing. But just imagine, they probably should give them residency. It should just be that. But you're not eligible for citizenship ever because of what you did.
People would be good with that.
That's what I'm saying.
And
so they were saying
these motherfuckers are scared.
You can't vote. None of that shit.
That's what they're
you
scared
can't
of.
vote. None of that shit. And this seems like, I know it sounds anti-Mexican, but I'm only saying this because these motherfuckers ain't gonna give us anything. It's not like I'm for it. Yeah, get them.
Yeah, but
no. I'm just saying, allow my people to live here not without fear.
talk to the average Mexican though, illegal immigrant. They would be happy with that. Don't give a fuck about voting.
Even if it's $40,000, set up a payment plan. In America, you bank on the shit. You bank on the shit. You give them permission to work. You give them residency, never citizenship. So everybody's happy. They can never vote. They can never do none of that shit.
They're
just let them chill here.
40 grand per. It sounds like a sizable amount of money, and people are gonna say they can't.
They can say how you expect that.
Only certain, like let's say back to the 5 million, right? Let's say there's 5 million for 40 for, just do the math real quick. 5 million people at 40,000 per. What's that? 20 billion? No, hell no.
The fuck is that?
Go sideways. Oh, damn. That's $200 trillion. No.
I don't know. I'm dumb.
Show it, put it on the camera. 200. That's 200 trillion. No. Yeah, we're
dumb
down.
as shit.
We're down.
I don't
200
know.
million, $200 billion. It's 200 billion.
It's 12 zeros.
It's 1,200 billion. I mean, 200.
Whoa.
200 billion. It's 200 billion. 200 billion.
It's 11 zeros. My fault. 12 digits.
It's $200 billion.
That's what I'm saying. Look at all that fucking money.
That's a lot of money.
And everybody would pay it, but you have to be fair because some people, they're poor.
Yeah.
So you have to give them fucking payment plans that they can pay. Like a fucking mortgage. You can do this shit like a 60-year plan.
And you won't get your residency until you pay it off or immediate?
I don't know.
Because I think you have to pay.
Because then people just wouldn't pay it. If they were getting it immediately, they wouldn't pay. They would pay the minimum and say, I'll die before I get it. In America, it's not going to allow that.
Yeah. It would have to be like you have to pay 10.
I think you would. The only way it's eligible is somehow through a loan. Or no? Because then America would get their money instantly and then you owe the bank.
Yeah, but the bank don't have nothing collateral.
But maybe that bank don't have that much money.
They have it. It just they can't. If you die, they lose out on $30,000.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the thing is.
It would have to be. You have to.
There
pay
has
10
to be
upfront.
something the forgiveness, fucking whatever, right? Because there's a lot of good people in America that everybody's benefiting off of. The ones that are in the fields, the ones that are doing all the shit that nobody else wants to do. Everybody's benefiting off of them. There's so many companies run by Mexicans. And it would benefit everybody.
I think this is one area that I feel like I'm not really educated in. And I consistently hear people telling me shit about it. And because I never like to debate people on shit that I have solely because I feel, I don't like, you know how you told me, what's that Indian guy's name again? Don't let another dude control your feelings, whatever. What's that dude's name again? You know what I'm talking about?
The guru?
Yeah, the guru guy.
Sadhguru?
Yeah. Ever since you told me about that, I'm like, whenever something changes my mood from like whatever I was to either angry or annoyed or upset, I think of that and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't allow this to trigger me, right? Because the majority of the time, the person who's talking is way more ignorant than I am. But yet, I'm like, okay, because I don't know the facts. I never like to debate somebody on what they're telling me because I have no idea what the facts are.
Even when you're like 60% sure, huh?
Yeah, so
70, just because you don't want to look dumb, you just don't say shit.
Well,
let me figure it out.
I don't like acting like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, but I feel like I need to. This is probably something that I need to dive into when it comes to immigration, when it comes to perks, negatives, all that. I need to look into it because whenever I hear people talk shit about Mexicans or illegal immigrants, it something inside me wants to say fuck that person, right? But even though my head is saying you can't you can't just deny everything that comes out of this person's mouth solely because you feel like you're being attacked. There might be, you got to be open-minded and say, okay, why is this person's view of immigrants, especially illegal immigrants, such negative? Is there a reason? Is there a solidified and actually intelligent reason, or is this just because of they're ignorant by the extension of all these news outlets that just spew a bunch of shit that really is not, or they highlight shit about immigrants, like people getting killed or raped, and it happens to be an illegal immigrant, and then they just brought into every person who crosses the border is automatically someone evil, a raper, a drug dealer, right? That's what the story is. And people like this dude asked me, probably like a week ago, he's like, what are your thoughts on illegal immigration? And he's like, because you see how we're giving them phones, we're giving them money, and we're giving them places to stay, and then we're paying for that shit. And I'm like, okay, everyone keeps telling me shit. It's not the first motherfucker who's told me that every illegal immigrant that enters illegally, the government will just give them a phone, will give them food, will give them place to stay, will give them money every month. And I'm like, okay, I don't believe that. I don't think the government's out here just giving out money for no reason.
And they assume that these immigrants know how to play the system, huh? Like they know already who to hit up, who to sign up for. A lot of times they don't want to sign up for nothing. They're scared of getting thrown out. So they're just working however they can work.
But these people who say that the people who come in are getting all this free shit, because people were telling me they're getting 200,000 coming in. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's not true.
I'm like, where are you getting these numbers from? And it's just because he heard somebody say something, and then he just ran with it.
And it's probably because they're so far away from them. You know, their family, they don't have nobody in their family that's Mexican, that's an immigrant. Or not even just their family as a friend or anything along those lines. So because it's so far away from them, they don't understand it.
And I know too, I realized this a while ago, like a long time ago, that when you get into a debate or an argument with somebody that's this type of person, you're not going to win. Not only are you not going to win, but they're not going to change their mind. Like there's no point. It's like hitting your head. It's like you're hitting your head on the wall over and over, thinking that it's going to be a new outcome, and it's going to be the same shit. Your head's going to hurt and you're going to bleed. So then it's pointless for me to get upset and go at this motherfucker, because then it opens up to shit getting physical. And just for what? Just because this motherfucker decided to spew some nonsense or whatever. That's why I'm like, I feel like it's because it's becoming more and more common. I feel like people are asking me what my opinion is, and because I'm not educated, I always tell them, hey, I'm not educated enough for me to give you like a perfect response, but I know I could tell based on what they think about it, whether or not where their head is, and then I'll tell them what I feel like. But there's no way. I'm always for the Mexicans, but that's me just being biased, because I know we know a lot of people who come in here undocumented, just trying to work, just trying to feed their kids. And even Rogan said that these motherfuckers be speaking like they wouldn't do the same shit. When you live in Mexico, they have no idea what it is over there, how much you work for so much little money, and just fucking a few miles down, just crossing that border is a fucking new world. It's heaven. People get paid good. They eat well. Motherfuckers eat way too well.
Yeah, you would go too.
Yeah, everybody would go.
But it's just because they're not in that. It's not them.
But they're like, we would come the correct way, and we.
But I think it's because they come from. They don't understand that it's not as easy as. I think they think that you just sign up for fucking citizenship and you can get a visa. But for the average person, it's not easy to get over here. And when it's not easy to get over here, you're giving somebody no choice. And a lot of people are in poverty, but a lot of people are also escaping fucking what you can call terrorism by the cartels. You know, and look into that. I would say to Americans, look into how many people are going missing. People's children just being taken away from them. And they were quick to say, well, that's Mexico's problem. But how can you blame the person who's living in terror, who can see like the light in America, can't get in because they don't fit the requirements. So they're like, fuck it, I'm getting the force way. By force, I mean. I'm going in. And I'll worry about it. Worst case scenario, throw me back. But that's why it has to be something. But it's because it's not, I don't know. Maybe it's not that easy too, but I don't know. It's because I don't know. But it just seems wrong.
It seems wrong because these people, a lot of these people who are anti illegal immigration, I understand that it's a burden to taxpayers. I understand they say that it hurts because they got to pay the border patrol so much, and then a lot of these illegal drugs are coming in, and the bad people, because I'm sure there's bad people everywhere. It's not just Mexicans or whoever comes into the country illegally. There's bad people everywhere. So you can't just straight say because they came here illegally automatically makes them. I mean,
Bad people.
technically, it makes them a criminal because they're doing shit illegally, but it doesn't make them a bad person. Whenever it comes to Mexican shit, people are real on the fence when they're talking to me because they don't know how I'm gonna react to it. So they either like vaguely like hint at certain things or they won't even say anything because they don't know how I'm gonna take it. And a lot of times people are surprised when I tell them that my ass was not born here, and then they're like, okay. And I feel like I always gotta represent Mexicans to a certain degree. So by being respectful, by being cordial with everyone, regardless of what they think, I feel like hopefully it changes their perspective on like what an illegal immigrant would look like if they compare it to me. Because everybody's like, yeah, well, at least from what people be saying, they're like, oh yeah, it's a solid motherfucker, right?
Yeah, but you're not an illegal immigrant.
But I was.
So that's why it's the difference.
But I was. And still, my ass was never
But
born
they don't
here.
know that. They wouldn't understand shit like that. When you get into the meat of the shit, that when you start diving in, they're like, I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what you mean. People are like, you need a social to pay taxes. No, you don't.
People think they can use like there's one dude's like they think they don't understand that you need a social security number in order to have a job. And for the most part. And majority of places, businesses, they're not gonna hire you if you still got a social security number. Okay, so they're like they don't even understand that. They think people can just be getting jobs randomly everywhere. They're like, they're taking our jobs. What jobs are we gonna take, motherfucker? Like how okay, so just put it in this perspective. Okay, you're losing your job to a person that don't speak a lick of English, right? And that's jumping into your field that you should be an elite at, and they're taking it from you.
But the argument there for them is, oh, the only reason they're winning and I'm not is because they're getting paid less. They're willing to take less and I'm not. I deserve 13, but when homeboy comes in and says I'll work for 6 or 7, then he's like, how can I beat that? Even if I have the same skills or I am better than him for a company, he's gonna be like, well, $6 to $13, I'll take the 6. That's their argument.
If I guess certain jobs, I guess I would understand that logic, but
you don't see immigrants coming into the office. You see them coming into the fields.
Yeah.
You see them coming into the oil rigs and shit. You see them to like a lot of shit that you can get away with because there's some employers who are like, I'll get you.
Fuck safety.
I'll hire you. No, I'm saying I'll hire you.
Oh.
I'll hire you even though them knowing you're an illegal immigrant.
But if you, I think if that's because I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like, for me personally, if somebody came in tried to take my job, and they were doing this because I feel like nobody can outwork me. Like there's no way you can't outwork me. I'm sorry. Like you bring anybody in, I don't give a fuck who it is. there's no, if you're paying like the quality, when it comes to quality, how fast shit gets done, and the quality of shit that's gonna be put out, I feel like nobody. I mean, I know people can beat me because I met them, right? Like people who I aspire to become one day. So I'm not like, I'm not in denial or like, what was that?
Delusional.
Yeah, I'm not delusional to the fact that there's people who are better than me that can outwork circles around me. But except from the one person, there's very few people that I've come across that's happened. But I've yet to meet someone of my age or younger that be able to outwork me.
And it's almost like if you can, then you deserve it. You deserve the position.
Yeah, I would concede.
It's always like, as Mexicans, we have a certain standard of work. And I say this because in a lot of the jobs I had, there would be other people who would work there, and they would be like, why are you working so hard for? Like, you're not getting paid more. Why are you working so hard for? Slow down. Like, you could make this work last for this amount of time, and instead of just rushing through that shit. But to me, it's like, I'm not rushing through it. I'm just working. And it's because I don't know how that is, because or that's being lazy, and you can't be like, the way we were taught is like, no, you have to work. But I don't know how to explain that, because we've been worked almost harder, and it made us into these type of workers. And when you compare us to other people who slack, we're champion. Like, and a lot of times the companies see that, and that's why they love us.
Yeah,
because they're like, this motherfucker really working, and they're just seeing it as like slave shit.
And I see it as like, you not only are you, it doesn't, like, I understand people are like, you're making us look bad, but it's like, I'm making myself look good.
Yeah.
And like, at the end of the day, you only got to look out for yourself. And I feel like when a company sees you and they take notice, that gives you leverage as far as pay. Yeah. You can go in there and demand whatever the fuck you want.
And that's why they're upset, because I knew a lot of people who would tell me that exact words. You're making us look bad. But it's like, that's on you, and I'm building leverage. And then when I build leverage, I go into the office and I ask for the same raise you ask, but they don't give it to you, but they give it to me because I'm worth it. I'm valuable. And then especially when you know you're valuable and you say, this is what I want. I've been working here for this long now. I believe this is what I deserve. And if I don't get this, I'm going to walk away. Like, no hard feelings, but then this place, I don't have a future here. Shake my hand, that's it. And then a lot of times they give it to you. I've been given shit that people haven't. It's crazy. And it's just, I've been given shit that, like, holidays that people been working there 15 years and haven't got it. And they always complain about it.
And then that's what I'm saying. Like, working hard is not a bad thing. I feel like that the laziness is getting worse. You see that shit everywhere. Not a lot of people want to do the minimum. And I feel like if you don't give a fuck about that job and you're just trying to get by, I guess. But like, my ass is always trying to do. I'm not trying to work myself to death either. But I'm trying to do what I feel is fair, like a fair day's work, where I can leave and be like, yeah, okay, I put in some work today. Because it's like, I'm not only am I getting better, right? It's improving myself, but I'm also stacking leverage. So when you go in there and you say, hey, I'm not coming in for a week. Okay. Or, hey man, I need $5 more an hour. Okay. These motherfuckers don't say nothing as far as like, well, let me think about, and like, well, remember that one time you're arguing with that dude and like, you never cause any issue. If you don't cause the boss any headache and you just work, you can go in there and ask the motherfucker for anything. And if you feel you deserve it, they'll give it to you.
You're more likely to get it, because not everybody will give it to you. Some people, even though you ask for it, they won't give it to you. But that's when you say, okay, you're not going to give it to me, I'm going to step away then. Thank you for listening to the AB podcast. You can follow us in the links below. All our social medias are linked there. If you want to buy some merch, the merch that we're usually wearing in the podcast, you can buy it as well. The link will be below.